Welcome to this Fly High Driving Academy video focusing on control, observation and response when driving at the UK Practical Driving Test Standard. So in order to explain the crucial importance of car control, meaningful observation and appropriate response when driving, I'm going to have a simulated conversation with Wally the Walrus. Hi there, Wally, how are you doing? Who represents a useful learner driver profile for this purpose. The context of this conversation is the start of a learner driver assessment day that follows on from an initial telephone conversation with Wally. Now, the main outcome of the initial conversation is that Wally does not have a clue about the UK Practical Driving Test Standard. So when I spoke to you on the phone, Wally, you were very unclear about what it was you needed to do. He was guided by his mates. Well, he's a 20-year-old male. All his mates did it at 17. They all very into bravado and driving illegally without licenses and handbrake turns. And they said they did it on 10 hours, etc., etc. But Wally, we did get to the truth, didn't we? They probably did take a little bit longer than that. Yeah, okay. And your handbrake turn days are over. Yeah, he's actually settling down. He's got a missus, he wants to have a family, yeah, he needs his license. So, okay, Wally, well, we're going to have assessment day now. At the end of that, we will see where you're at and see how many hours you actually need. We are going to focus on the crucials of driving: control, observation and response when driving at this exquisite UK Practical Driving Test Standard. Okay, how are you going to reach the pedals? Well, I've told him about the Iron Man suit in the boot, but he doesn't believe me. Yeah, we've got an Iron Man suit, so you do need to be able to control the car appropriately. So what were you doing when you were driving around in the car parks? He says that he was doing what they call free driving, where one of them is on the wheel and one of them is in the well controlling the pedals. So free driving is not really a very safe way to do it, is it, Wally? And obviously you need a little bit more control than that to be able to pass the test. Yes, we're on board with that. Okay. Yeah, I'm really glad to know that you're on board with doing this properly. So the first thing you need to be able to do when you want to drive at this UK Practical Driving Test Standard is control the car. Now, initially, of course, you need to control the car with the pedals. So you do need to have a look at what's going on in the footwell with the feet. To control the car with the foot pedals, the key thing is the appropriate positioning over the appropriate pedal and the appropriate pressure on that pedal. So there are 3 pedals. The right foot operates the gas pedal with the heel down, and it's just gentle progressive pressure down, smoothly down as you need it, and then coming smoothly off. And the right foot also is used to control the brake. Now, as you come off the gas, you need to position the right foot over the pedal using the ball of the foot. So it's not too low, not too high, but it's just that ball of the foot. And initially you want to just cover, which means there's a bit of a gap, and then weight of foot to apply a very gentle initial pressure, and then progressively more. I do not stamp the pedals. It's a smooth, progressive pressure as you need it. Okay, so you're going from the gas to the brake as appropriate with the right foot. Now, the left foot is used to control the clutch pedal, and unlike the use of the brake that requires the ball of the foot, you actually be needing to use the toes. So the top of your foot as a guide should ideally be in line with the top of the pedal itself. Okay, and then clutch down is down to the floor, and that's a decisive movement down, and that disengages the engine and allows you to select an appropriate gear. And then what you need to do is you need to come up about halfway to the biting point, the point at which the selected gear will start to be engaged. And as you come up to the biting point, the heel should go down. So you've got to pivot around the biting point, and it's exquisite control around the bite. So the biting point itself, let's assume you're in first gear, that will actually stop you rolling back on a hill when you release the handbrake. Now if you're moving off on a level road, you would come up to that biting point, and you can hear it, and you can see the bonnet coming up if the handbrake is on, and you can actually feel it. Now once you're at that biting point on a level road, you just dip it very slightly below, so that when you do actually release the handbrake, the car isn't moving forward. If it moves forward a small amount, that's okay within tolerance, but you're looking to dip below. And then if you come up through the bite and hold it just above the biting point, and then pressure on as soon as it starts to move with tick over gas, and no pressure on the gas with a diesel, you can go very slowly. We call that on the clutch maneuver speed. And at that point, if you need to slow down and or stop, you can just dip below, tiny movement down, and gently brake. If you need to go slightly faster, but still very slow, but just very slightly faster than maneuver speed on the clutch, you can go on the clutch with control, which is holding it a tiny bit higher off the biting point. And that allows you to move off with control. It allows you to emerge safely at the T-junction, but you've got to keep the pressure on so you just don't come off abruptly, because that means you will stall the engine. So going with control, holding it just above that bite. So if you do need to slow down or stop, you can dip below and then gently brake. Okay, and let's say you're moving off with control, which is just above that bite. Keep that pressure on, the heel down, that pivot action will allow you to keep control. So it's a smooth transition off the biting point and off the second part of the clutch nice and smoothly. And then if you want to make progress, more gas. And then almost straight away, if you're gassing nice and smoothly, you come off the gas and then clutch to the floor in one movement. Then you engage the gear, let's say second gear, and then you come up to the biting point relatively quickly, heel down, but with pressure on through the bite. And through the bite, you are going to be gently gassing to allow the transition into the selected higher gear, and coming smoothly off with gas, and then put the foot on the plate. Check your mirrors. If it's a third gear situation, you're going to be continuing with that smooth pressure on the gas, and then you need to match the gear to the increased speed and situation. So you come off the gas and clutch down together. You select third gear, come to the bite, heel down, a little bit of gas through, pressure on as you come through the bite, and smoothly off the second part of the clutch. Now if you need to stop in the gear, you need to make sure the clutch goes down just before you stop, otherwise you will stall. So you obviously do the appropriate observations and signal as necessary. You come off, cover, gently brake, let that take effect, then you pick the clutch foot up, clutch down, more brake as you need it in order to stop in the gear, and then you would secure the car, and then you can safely come off. So if you need to change down, let's assume you're in third gear and you're making some progress, and you need to navigate a junction ahead, you're turning left or right, you come off the gas as you check your mirrors, of course, you cover the brake and you gently brake, you get the speed off, then you pick the clutch up, you clutch it, select second gear, coming up to the bite and heel down, and usually off the brake together, smoothly off the bite and the second part of the clutch, and you're approaching second gear off the pedals, covering the brake, normally in second gear. Okay, now if you need to navigate a T-junction where you're emerging, let's assume again you're in third gear, there's nothing ahead of you. You want to get there by pressure on, then you come off, check your mirrors, you just cover and gently brake, allow that brake to take effect. Now you want to brake to almost stop the car. So you're gently braking and then the clutch goes down. You might need a little bit more brake. Now you're going to block from third into first. And then you come up to that bite and come off the brake just before it stops. You've got a little bit of momentum, a little bit of drive, take over gas, and then you're on the clutch. Okay, so you're either going with control just above that bite, allowing you time to look and respond, or if you can't see, you might need to peep and creep, which is up and dip, 6-9 inches at a time. Go with control when you can see, get that lock on, steering lock on, and then you're looking to make progress, which again at that point is gently gas coming off like this, and then mirrors gas off the gas clutch down into second gear till the bite and heel down, gassing through smoothly off the bite and second half of the clutch, and then you would put him on the plate and make progress and match the gear as appropriate. So that's essentially the use of the foot pedals to control the car. Okay, now you also need to be able to control the car with the wheel. If you're just changing position, say at just a minor position change left or right, the amount of steering lock is obviously proportionally less. And the point is, of course, you're just using the wheel. The hands should be opposite each other, and one hand does the work and the other slides. Okay, Wally? Yes, you will be able to do this more effectively with the Ironman suit, as you will be able to control the car as well. Okay, and then the pull-push method is when you're turning left or right from a main road into a minor road. Right, you prepare by putting the appropriate hand to 12 o'clock, and that reminds you to do the final observations: head junction mirror, pull down and slide to your lap, change grip, push up and slide, change grip, pull down and slide. That will get you to full lock if needed. And then at the appropriate point, you're going to straighten the wheel, which is grip with the other hand and push up and slide, change grip, pull down and slide, change grip, push up and slide, final adjustment. And the same for when you're turning right, you prepare, final observation, head junction mirror, pull down and slide, change grip, push up and slide, change grip, pull down and slide, hold it, and the appropriate time you're going to straighten the wheel up, push up and slide, change grip, pull down and slide, change grip, push up and slide, final adjustment. Okay, and obviously if the turn is less than 90 degrees, then you need less than full steering lock. But that is something we need to go through, and it's a crucial part of controlling the car. Okay, so with regard to observation, there are times when you need to do a full all-round check, a shoulder-to-shoulder check. Okay, now that obviously includes the blind spots and the mirrors. And if you're changing position left or you're turning left, the start of the junction mantra, you do a centre and left. Move your head, please. Okay, and if you're changing position right or turning right, centre and right. Again, move your head, because you have this thing called peripheral vision, allows you to pick up way more information, and it does actually help you to learn to make that crucial mirror check at that point in that situation. He says, does he have to move his head because the examiner will be watching his eyes? No, Wally, no, it's not about that. You've got to do meaningful mirror checks, but we'll go over that in the car. Okay, so control and observation, and then obviously you need to respond to what you see, and that may well be a dip and brake if you're on the clutch. It may well be an observation and covering the brake, maybe gently brake, maybe brake clutch down into the gear, maybe with gas, or of course potentially stopping in the gear. Okay, so these are the fundamentals of driving at this exquisite UK practical driving test standard. Okay, and it involves appropriate control, meaningful observation and response to what you see. You have to be aware and respond to other road users and the evolving driving situation. So that's what we're going to cover today. That is the end of this video. Please remember to like and subscribe below, and click on the link to check out the Fly High Driving Academy Complete Learner Driver video course package that covers everything that you need to know to drive at the UK Practical Driving Test Standard, including the required control, observation and response when driving. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.